Hello, my name is Carlos Mendez. I am the current Director of Orchestras and District Coordinator of Music at Fayetteville Manlius Schools. I am responsible for teaching our freshman string orchestra, our symphony orchestra, which is our top in-school orchestral ensemble, our chamber orchestra, which meets once per week in the evenings. This is also an audition group, and I am the producer and pit orchestra conductor for our annual musical. I am completing my 23rd year teaching orchestra in New York. I had the privilege of student teaching with a wonderful educator. Her name is Julie Carr, and fate would have it that a position opened up in the same school district I student taught in, and I was hired as their elementary string teacher. So I went from being Julie Carr's student teacher to her colleague. Each year, Julie would accept a student teacher from Ithaca College, and during their time with Julie, she would have them spend some time with me to see how our elementary program was structured. Seeing how important the role of the cooperating teacher was in the development in each student teacher, I eventually offered to take student teachers from Ithaca College as well. I wanted to be able to share my experiences and help a future educator have a positive experience as I had when I student taught. When I mentor student teachers, I have several main goals I want to see them accomplish by the end of their time with me. I initially focus on structure and expectations. I want them to see how important it is to have structure in your classroom so that the students know exactly what's expected of them. Since student teachers come from a wide variety of backgrounds, it's important for them to see that we have very high expectations here at Fayetteville Manlius Schools. More importantly, though, student teachers need to understand that no matter where they are or where they teach, students are looking and craving structure and high expectations. Once that's established, we start working towards general classroom management and planning short lesson plans to see how they can work through that plan. During those short lessons, we find out their strengths and or weaknesses in conducting and overall listening to the ensemble. We often find that the first few rehearsals are overwhelming to student teachers and they aren't able to effectively assess what needs to be worked on. It's as if there's too much stimuli and they don't know what to focus on. That leads us to talking about score study and being able to foresee potential problems prior to rehearsals. Eventually, they start to understand how to listen to the ensemble and discern what needs to be addressed and actually respond to what they actually hear, which ultimately gives them more confidence and hopefully allows them to let their personality shine through on the podium. Sometimes student teachers are so focused on their lesson plan, they don't really listen and respond to what they actually hear. When they can get past the plan and listen, it's an eye-opening experience for them. One of the main things I see student teachers struggle with is being able to just allow themselves to show their passion for music on the podium. There's so much to think about during rehearsals, they have trouble letting go and just being themselves. If there is one thing I want them to take away from their student teacher experience is the ability to be confident in their teaching and showing their students how passionate they are about their teaching and music. As I mentioned, I gradually allow student teachers time in front of the group, which eventually, sooner than later, turns into them running all the rehearsals and lesson groups. Since their time with me is rather short, by the middle of the second week or start of the third week, they're pretty much doing everything I would normally do. That is, unless there are issues that still need to be addressed, which prevent them from being able to actually take on all the responsibilities. I do meet with my student teachers daily to discuss how each day went. We talk about their goals and specific strategies they used or could have used in the lessons or rehearsals. Many times, student teachers just need assistance in learning how to get to the desired outcome in a more straightforward way and learning more strategies to put in their teacher bag of tricks. So when one thing doesn't work, they have more options available to them. I usually allow the student teachers to develop their own lesson plans and have them share those plans with me prior to rehearsals or lessons so that I can guide them if necessary. Eventually, I do have student teachers plan the lessons and I give them feedback after the actual rehearsal or lesson. This sometimes leads to student teachers seeing that something they planned didn't go so well, but obviously turns into a learning experience so that they can adjust on the spot if things don't go as planned. This is where those bag of tricks comes in handy. Early in the student teaching experience, I often step in to provide immediate feedback and assistance. I do share this with the student teachers so that they know ahead of time that I may be stopping them in the middle of their teaching. As we progress, unless there's something seriously wrong, I will wait until the end of the rehearsal lesson to provide feedback, which once again allows the student teacher the opportunity to navigate through the entire rehearsal lesson without interruption, giving them a sense of the whole. That really enables us to discuss their scope and sequence of the lesson or rehearsal. My student teachers are required to teach using their main and minor instruments. They will often be asked to perform on their minor instruments within the ensemble while I'm teaching. I also expect them to practice on their minor instruments when they have time. I do expect my student teachers to participate in all school functions, which also involves interaction with parents. It's a wonderful experience for student teachers to go to all county auditions or festivals and see what our roles are at these special events. The student teachers are also required to attend our faculty meetings, which expose them to current information being shared by our administrators. I've had many student teachers over the years, and the experience is always worth it, knowing that I may have had a small hand in shaping the way they teach and share their knowledge with their own students.